Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the new HUDEF Gen 3, the Kevlar Carbon Face mix paddle from HUDEF. You want to hear about it? Stay tuned. Let's talk about the Kevlar carbon phenomena that's happening now in the industry. It seems like this is going to be the year of Kevlar. There are like 10 different paddle manufacturers coming out with all different types of Kevlar paddles. This is one of the ones in the line. HUDEF has really come up with value propositions where they are giving you thermoform Gen 2 paddles at a Gen 1 price. The paddles have all the advanced technology, but they're actually at a cost that's affordable. So one of the things I love about HUDEF is they're a very good value paddle for good quality. The other thing that they got is they're touting a carbon fiber and Kevlar mix. So you can see the color designs here. I'm going to show this close on the camera, and then I'm going to show you the microscopic view. So this is the way it looks. You can see that they're cross-threading the carbon fiber and the Kevlar inside this paddle. So we're gonna see how this does for the longevity, how it does for the spin. I'm gonna show you the stats right here of this paddle. Here's the spin metrics, here's the swing weight, here's the twist weight, here's all the pertinent information. I'm gonna let you look at this a second, and then we're gonna jump right into the playing review. So first off, I'm gonna show you how this paddle performs when it comes to serves and serve returns.
I'll say that I love the shape of this paddle. I was able to really whip through the ball, hit really deep returns and serves. Was able to hit to the deep thirds. I really felt that this paddle had a lot of power compared to the other Kevlar paddles I tested next to this one. This one had the most pop, and I was able to generate a little bit more spin with this one because I think the head shape, you're able to whip through it really well.
I had no problems with serves and serve returns. I was not hitting anything long unless I really was going for the ball, and I never really had any problems. I was able to serve to the deep thirds. I feel like this paddle has plenty of pop, but not so much that it's uncontrollable. Let's take a look at how the paddle performs when it comes to drives.
Now I would categorize this as an all-court paddle. It is not quite a power paddle, but it has plenty of pop. As you can see there, very easy passing shot there. I was able to hit with tons of spin. The Kevlar and carbon fiber face mix on this, you can tell that it really makes the paddle feel softer, but it's not quite as crisp as the 6.0. It's a little bit more muted than the 6.0, but not as muted as the Huarache X Kevlar edition, because that one is the most muted out of the Kevlar ones that I tested. But this paddle is really performant in this area for the power and the pop.
Like I said, this paddle had plenty of power, and the drives did just fine. I was able to put dip on it. I was able to put motion on it. I was able to hit different spots on the court because it was controllable. So the drives were no problem on this paddle. So let's take a look now at the drop shots. This is the most important shot in pickleball. Let's look at third shot drops and resets.
Now this is a little bit stiffer paddle, but I found that the soft shots really easily produced with this paddle. Really could put the ball where you wanted to put it. You can see that just being able to just drop it right back in the kitchen, and then turn up the heat, be able to put some power into it. I thought this really was a good all-around paddle, and this point really illustrates the differences of the shots that you can hit with it. I personally like the smaller grip because I found that my wrists were able to release a little bit more. So I think I maybe have been playing with too large a grip on the paddles that I've been playing with. This one here with the 4 1/8 inch grip really fits into the smaller hands. I would say I have smaller hands. And this really made me want to speed up the ball. I really felt like even with the soft shots, I could hit the soft shots all day long. I could get to the kitchen all day long, but I couldn't wait to get to the kitchen because I felt like this paddle gave a little bit of an edge in the fast game and the counter punches at the kitchen.
This paddle really excelled in this area. I had no problems with resets. I had no problems with third shot drops. This is a very controllable paddle. I didn't have any problems, even on the off-center shots. Even though the sweet spot feels a little bit smaller, it wasn't too punitive with the damage when you hit out here on the edges. So the third shot drops and the resets, I felt like anywhere I hit, maybe right out here on the end of the paddle, this is kind of a dead area on most paddles. And so it's really controllable out here, but you're not going to get a lot of pop out here. This is one of the reasons why some people like the elongated shape, because it's kind of dead right here on the end and you can kind of catch the ball and pitch it out. But after we get to the kitchen, this is where the money's at. Let's look at dinks.
As you can tell from my rotund stomach, I do like to be in the kitchen, and that's where we grade a lot of these paddles. How do we perform in the kitchen? How does it feel in the kitchen? I like the feel of this paddle. I really do. It gives enough feedback that you know where exactly the ball is hitting on the face of the paddle. The sweet spot's a little bit smaller than the 6.0, the Huarache X, and the Pickleball Apes because of the shape. Those are all 3 hybrid shapes. This is a non-hybrid shape. This is elongated with a long handle and really can get the head through on this guy. Really felt controllable, and with the feel of it, just being able to feel where the ball is at on the paddle face without it being too muted. I like the feel of this paddle. I could really play this paddle and enjoy it, and really was able to put a lot of pressure on my opponents here just because like that soft reset right there. And then I can turn it into offense here and like ping people.
You can tell the dinks, this paddle is really controllable. It fits, you can do anything you want in the kitchen. And as if you can see in some of these, the counter punches in this paddle, it has plenty of pop to put the ball away. So I really enjoyed this paddle once I got up to the kitchen. So I was very impressed with this when I started playing with this compared to some of the other Kevlar paddles out of here. I will say compared to the Ruby and compared to the Pickleball Apes, this paddle will have a smaller sweet spot because of the shape. This is a standard kind of like Invicta shape, so a little bit longer face, a little bit more narrow here. When you hit out here on the edge on a paddle this shape, you're gonna have a little bit lower twist weight on this, and it's gonna move a little bit more. The 6.0 and the Pickleball Apes, they are still the hybrid shape, so they're a little bit wider. It's not really a fair comparison between paddle types when you're looking at different paddle shapes. It's not a fair comparison because the wider paddles typically have wider sweet spots. That's just the way they feel. But when it comes to the feel of this paddle compared to those other paddles, this paddle has a very plush feel. It does not feel hard. It does not feel crisp coming off the face. It feels really solid, and you can still tell where you're hitting on the face. So it's not so plush that you can not feel where it's hitting on the paddle face, like the Huarache X Kevlar. That version, you can feel it's a very mushy paddle. It's very plush on everywhere you hit. When it comes to this paddle, you're gonna know where you're hitting it, but it's not gonna feel as precise as the Ruby. The Ruby is gonna feel a little bit more precise where you're hitting the ball and a little bit more crisp coming off the face. So this paddle's a little bit more muted, but it has more pop than the other 2 models. This paddle has put away power. This paddle here is going to be an all-court paddle, where I might lean a little bit more on the Ruby. It's really on the borderline between what I would say an all-court paddle and a control paddle because it has such a good sweet spot. It's very easy to reset. It's very controllable. You can really put the ball where you want it on that paddle. When it comes to the power, this guy wins. When it comes to the control, I would say that the other model, the other body shapes have a little bit of an edge on this guy. Typical octagon shape handle. Very small handle. One of the things I really appreciate about HUDEF is they have a 4 1/8 inch handle. The reason they do that is it makes it a little bit smaller, and you can just add over grips to this handle if you want to make the handle bigger. When it comes to smaller hand people or females, this handle is better because it's smaller. So you'll be able to fit more hands with it. And then you can just add over wraps when you want to make the paddle bigger. This paddle is for anyone that needs a little bit more pop at the kitchen and a little bit more put away power on your counter punches. And you want a little bit more pop on your drives compared to other Kevlar paddles. This paddle is also for somebody that wants an affordable paddle that has good technology, that's a little bit cheaper than the higher name in brands. There is a slight difference in the paddle, but I don't know if it's noticeable depending on what level you play. This paddle would fit just about anybody that wants to try it. The Kevlar and the carbon fiber, we're gonna have to see how that works. We're gonna have to see if it lasts longer. That's the thinking right now from the science. We'll see, only time will tell on that. And I really actually enjoyed the paddle all the way around. I think it's a great paddle for those that just wanna save some money and still have a high quality paddle. And they like the look of it. This is a very clean design. It's Gen 3, it says on here. It is not the Gen 3 of Yola. That's just a name for this. It's the Generation 3 of the Viva Pro. It's their 3rd Pro version of their paddles. And I think it's got a clean design with the white edge. I think this paddle's a great paddle. Thank you those of you that are using our code. If you look in the description below, you can see our 15% discount code. Thank you for using that code. It helps us keep the lights on here, helps us keep bringing you these great reviews. I want to thank HUDEF for sending us this paddle for review. And if you don't like HUDEF and you want to check out a different brand, check these out. Oh, they're good too.